What's up, everyone? Aussie Sim Commentator here, and welcome to USANZ round number 7 from the Bristol Motor Speedway. And what a cathedral of clusterness we have here today. We have a massive field of drivers, and I mean, there is so many people here right now that it's crazy. Can't actually give you an exact number on how many people are here just yet, but there are the minis. 28 drivers in this field today for a strength of field of only 22.19, but don't let that cloud you. There's a couple of 6k drivers in here, like our current pole sitter, the 72 of Ashton Crowder. Another. Oh no. Oh, I was wrong about that one. We've got Kyle Manger in here as well. Bill Priest? That's how you spell that one. Sorry if that's not the way it's meant to be said, but that's what I'm getting from it. So we've got a whole bunch of new faces in here, so a whole bunch of new names for me to fuck up royally, and that's my one for the broadcast. Welcome, guys, to the Aussie Sim Commentator channel as we dive into this USANZ, as we see Gary Peck 2 getting loose coming across the line there to finish off his qualifying lap. I think there's only one more person on the track at the moment, 2 people on the track. Matt Trivett heading his way out. See what he can do. Let's go and ride on board with him for his couple of laps here at Bristol. It jumped cars on me, and it also looked like he had a crash. Damn, that's no good. Also got Thomas Light out there on track, and he goes for a crash. And that's going to be some engine damage. See what Rachel Hunt can do here. Chosen a part of the qualifying session where she's going to be out on track all by herself. First lap is... oh, it's the second lap. P4. 14.897. Only 0.16... yeah, 0.166 off the leading time. Thomas Light comes back out onto the track. He hasn't actually set a time yet. Looks like Rachel's just going to continue to stay out there and do some practice laps. The 98 Thomas Light was still out there for a brief second, but he's gone inside. Cars are looking very loose on the low line. That low line's not looking very comfortable at all. We only have a couple minutes left here for the end of qualifying. See Rachel go back to her pit box, or she's just practicing the pit run. I always say practicing a pit entry is always a good idea, because every track is different. And it looks like that's exactly what Rachel is doing right now. We also have Gregory Harris just sitting there at the end of the pit lane. Doesn't look like he's exactly doing too terribly much. Your current qualifiers, like we've only got like 15 people who have laid down laps. We've got Ashton Crowder from Boyd Hogan, Ben Kilcrease, Rachel Hunt, Kyle Manger, J.R. Hager, Chuck Mobley, Matt Ribbett, Robert Roeder, Jason Quinn, Gary Peck, Russell Arnold, Christopher Davies, Bruce Rivers, and Ryan Charles. That's all we got who have laid down laps so far. What we might do is, because we're just about to go to the gridding phase of this, we're going to go for a quick commercial break. So stay tuned, we'll be back very shortly. Alrighty, we are back. Just waiting for the cars to start hitting the track. While we do that, we will bring up our grid results. You guys already know the top 15. Ashton Crowder, Boyd Hogan, Ben Kilcrease, Rachel Hunt, Kyle Manger, J.R. Hager, Chuck Mobley, Matt Trivett, Robert Roder, Jason McQuinn, Gary Peck, Russell Arnold, Christopher Davis, and Bruce Rivers and Ryan Charles. Then out of 16th, we will have Brian Chambliss. 17th is Derek Arrange. 18th is Alexander Russell. 19th, Thomas Light. 20th will be Brian Britt. 21st is Adam Walker. Then Timothy Swiggett in 22nd. 23rd is Gregory Harris. 24th is Gareth Anderson. 25th is Brian Marola. 26th is Dalton Collins. 27th is Lewis Woodall. And 28th will be Tyler Peacock. So that is our starters and drivers for this race. Most of them are on the grid at the moment. It looks like that's all we're going to have. Brian Britt, Dalton Collins, Lewis Woodall, and Taylor Peacock. My apologies, not making it to the grid. And sorry if I seem to cough a lot. I've literally been awake for about 15 minutes. You can see Brian Britt is in the pits there. So he is just taking the start from the pits. I don't know about the other blokes though. Alright. This time around we should see pace car pulling in and the field getting going. Pace car is in.
Go. Green flag.
And we are off and racing. It's already a close battle for the lead. Neither side wanting to give up. It was barely even there on the start, but in the second phase of it, the outside line has prevailed. Boyd Hogan will be the leader of the first lap. Here comes Rachel Hunt sitting in third. She also started on the outside. She doesn't want to let Ashton Crowder get up there into her line, and she's going to try and take advantage, and we have a caution already. I can see that the 23 car is involved. That's Jason McQuinn. Have a look. Oh, that actually started beforehand. So let's go check out 78 of Chuck Mobley. Now, is it just a case that he crowded the 53 car there of Robert Roder? Ooh, a little bit of net code actually, but he did pinch him down quite fast, so they probably would have ended up making contact anyway. See, the one of Matt Trivett was involved. The 34 of Russell Arnold involved. 23 was involved. Oh, the 21 got into the back of the 34. The 511, nowhere to go. Oh, Brian Chambliss, nowhere to go either. That was a nose-to-nose contact. So quite a few cars caught up in that one. But what that has left us with now is Boyd Hogan in the lead, Ashton Crowder P2, Rachel Hunt in third, JR Hager fourth, Kyle Manger fifth, Ben Kilcrease P6, Chuck Mobley 7th, Matt Tribbett 8th, Russell Arnold 9th, Christopher Davis in 10th. And we're on 1 to green. And our leader, Boyd, has chosen to go to the outside lane. Or are we doing a single file start? What? It looks like we're doing a single file restart here. The pace car is in, and we're off and racing.
Go, go, go. Green flag.
So Boyd Hogan, unchallenged going into turn 1 and 2, going to stretch out a big lead here. And he definitely does have a big lead over the 72 of Ashton Crowder. See Rachel Hunt trying to hold on to third there from JR Hager, who is trying to make something work on that low line. Unfortunately unable to do so here. As the field is pretty spread out already. Let's go focus on crashes and let's see where iRacing will end us up. And we are back on the 20 of Adam Walker. He was trying to make something work on the inside, but on the outside comes the 84 of Derek Runge. In fact, Derek is also going to get around the 2 of Brian Marola at this pace. So too will Brian Chambers, although we do have a caution on the track. And I think this one is for the 5 of Brian Britt. Have a look at what happened to Brian. Absolutely nothing. He just chose to stop. Okay. So that's what brought out that caution. So still have Boyd Hogan, Ashton Crowder, Rachel Hunt, JR Hager, Ben Kilcrease, Kyle Manger, Chuck Mobley, Alexander Russell, Christopher Davis, and Bruce Rivers as your top 10. We've got a few people pitting. I'm going to go to a quick commercial break and we'll be back. Or you can shake it 3 times and be playing with yourself. Alright, we are back. Not quite on 1 the green yet. Looks like we're getting a double file restart. And this time, Boyd has picked the outside line. Rachel sitting there on the inside line. Hager on the outside. 3rd and 4th respectively for this restart. And we're off and racing.
Green flag.
Big jump for Boyd, and here comes J.R. Hager as well to try and take over the 2nd position. Similarly, Rachel Hunt dropping back to 5th. J.R. Hager now to the inside of the leader. Unable to get him clear coming off the corner. But he might be able to clear him this time, and he does with a slide job. But Boyd with the crossback. Alexander Russell almost doing that as well. But J.R. Hager in the lead of the race at the moment, as there is already a bit of separation between the 2 packs. Second place is Boyd Hogan. Alexander Russell in the 42 in 3rd. Looks like Thomas Light, the 98, is in the pits at the moment. Not sure why. He might have been involved in something that wasn't a caution. I'm waiting for Boyd to start the battle back. Looks like he's just content to sit there in 2nd at the moment. Hager actually pulling away now by a long way. I mustn't have seen it, but Boyd might have gotten loose at some point, and he has actually dropped all the way back to 4th now. Got Ashton Crowder and Rachel Hunt battling for P2. See what these guys can do and whether they can close the gap to JR Hager, who is just absolutely flying away with this at the moment. Looks like he's starting to pull away from Rachel. Rachel falling back into the clutches of Boyd now. Boyd just gave Rachel a little bit of a hurry up there. He's looking for the low line. He's looking to maintain on the high side. He pulls up side by side. And he's not going to get there. Oh wow, I just realised on their hoods, Rachel has an E and Alexander and Boyd has an A. As Boyd gets Rachel cleared and takes over the third position. EA Sports, it's in the game. I just had to do that. Sorry, my apologies to everyone out there who's pissed off with the EA microtransactions. Another development we got going on right now is the 72 of Ashton Crowder has caught up to JR Hager. So we could have a battle for the lead here very shortly. They'd want to hurry up and get this done because the first stage caution will be coming out shortly.
Howdy ho.
Oh, hello. Christopher Davis joining us in the booth. What's up, man?
Nothing much. Honestly, I didn't care too much about tonight. Trying to focus on getting my I rating up so I can start a bid in the RTP series.
Nice.
So, yeah, I already won a couple races this week in the A Open. So that's been my real main focus recently, is just building sets and trying to get everything all settled.
Well, congratulations, man. That's well done. As Ashton Crowder has just overtaken the lead of this race.
The Pepsi Series driver.
But he's about to encounter some heavy lap traffic at the moment. So let's see what he can do when it comes to dealing with this traffic. Going to the low side on them. So he's just got Gareth. About to get Ryan as well.
I was pulling hard up on the lap traffic here.
And now Jason McQuinn, who we saw involved in the first incident. Ashton Crowder making very light work of the lap traffic. JR Hager has followed him through. It took him just a little bit longer, which has affected his chances.
Saw the 23 kind of take the middle as it bounces off the wall off of 4. Lap before 23 kind of took the middle and kind of took away the momentum of Ashton Crowder. But fortunately enough, the 88 was also dealing with some lap traffic, so didn't pose too much of a harm to Ashton there.
You can see now, that was Adam Walker getting out of the way for Ashton Crowder, allowing Ashton to run the preferred outside line. But now he's caught up to some more traffic. There's the 24 of Gregory Harris, Russell Arnold in the 34. Both of them wanting to run the high line, which forced Ashton down to the low side. Of course, the Highline around here at Bristol is the preferred lane, but it's also where all the crashes will go before they slide down to the bottom. There's the two
Giving
car.
Ashton the bottom here.
But Ashton is absolutely spanking this right now. 2.3 seconds is the gap. Back to JR Hager in second.
Looking back at Hager, he's dealing with some lap traffic of his own. Might get overtaken by a lap car. I think it looks like the 96 of Boyd Hogan.
Oh, they were three wide. Boyd coming into contact with the left rear of JR Hager. They're lucky that that did not turn into disaster. That is the battle for second between those two cars. Currently separated by the 24 of Gregory Harris. As they come along the front straight. A little bit of space between them now. Only half a second though. As Ashton Crowder has extended his lead out to over 3 seconds. Oh, the two got into the wall coming out of turn 4. That allowed JR Hager to get underneath him very quickly.
Looking back to the 96, we see he has taken the middle through 3 and 4 here, trying to find some grip out in the racetrack.
It's a very difficult kind of track, especially when the setup is not one that's conducive to multiple lane racing.
Yeah, working through the setup this week, it was really top lane heavy. Gained all your momentum through the top lane.
But either way, this battle is back on in earnest between the 88 and the 96. JR Hager and Boyd Hogan. I'm pretty sure that's not how I'm meant to pronounce his last name, but that's the way I'm going to pronounce it.
Looking back to 6th place Alex Russell here, dealing with some lap traffic. Heard some chatter on the radio, something of not good. So we'll follow up with him and see how it plays out.
Like at the moment, he's going to be under threat here from Robert Roeder in the 53 car. They are battling for P6. They get around a couple of these lapped cars.
As you see, Brian Chambliss in the 25 almost collect the 53 in the left rear quarter panel there. He's 3 wide going out of 2, dealing with the heavy lap traffic here.
See, that's the one thing about the Bristol Motor Speedway. There's nowhere to run and there's nowhere to hide. There is traffic absolutely everywhere and anywhere. And these guys are definitely finding that out right now, Chris.
If you thought Daytona was a chess match, oh boy, welcome to Bristol, baby.
Let's go back in and check in on our leader once more. And wow, he's out to a 3.5 second lead as the caution comes out. Oh, it's for a stage caution, which I completely forgot. I was meant to throw it on lap 60 and I forgot. I was too caught up in the action.
I think all of us were.
But with that, we are going to go to a commercial break and we'll be back really shortly. And we're back, just in time for everyone to head into their pits. As quite a few drivers who are a lap down. That's crazy.
As we see, Ashton have a pretty lengthy lead over second place here coming into the pit stops. He should have a comfortable lead getting in and out of his pit stall here.
Definitely should. He had quite a few lap down cars between himself and second placed car of Hager in second. I don't even remember now because there was so much action.
Yeah, it was J.R. Hager in second. As we see
Oh.
J.R. Hager take the
Ashton with
lead.
a
Ashton's
terrible
still in
stop.
his pit stall. Wonder what's going on there.
He might be trying to get a little bit of damage fixed. I don't know. Either that or he just wants a little bit of a challenge. But I
See, now he
suggest
pulls away.
with how long he stayed in his pit box there. He was in there for 75 seconds. He was getting damage fixed. So maybe a run-in with a lapped car or two. But either way, that's going to put J.R. Hager in the lead of this race with Ben Kilcrease in P2, Kyle Manger 3rd, Alexander Russell 4th, Robert Roda in 5th, Brian Chambliss P6, Rachel Hunt P7, Derek Runge P8, Boyd Hogan P9, Bruce Rivers 10th, with Ashton Carter 11th, Chuck Mobley and Gareth Anderson in 12th and 13th. The last two cars on the lead lap.
You're seeing J.R. Hager take the top lane for this restart here.
A very smart choice.
Yeah, it has been the preferred lane of choice on these restarts.
So let's see how these drivers will do on this restart. They come out of turn 4. They're off and racing. J.R. Hager with a huge jump. And that has already got him out to a half a second lead. Alexander Russell trying to follow him through on that high side. Looks like he's going to get it done here. Going into 3 and 4. And we have problems. 84 car. And the one caught up in that one. So Derek Runge and Matt Trivett. No caution for those two though. As we go back to looking at our leader. And everyone's starting to catch up to him here, Chris.
As we see Alex take the middle towards bottom lane here, trying to get momentum off the corner, trying to defend from Kyle Manger.
To the inside goes Manger. Not going to quite get it done this time. Sometimes it can take a full lap, sometimes a lap and a half to get a move successfully made on that bottom lane. We'll have to wait and see how it will unfold. Manger just able to sneak up back into that high line in front of Brian Chambliss. Chambliss won't be happy about that, but he'll be happy that he's up in this position. As we now have a safety car on the track. And I think this one is going to be for the 24 of Gregory Harris, who is indeed upside down. Let's back this up and see what happened to Gregory Harris. He just got loose coming off the wall. I'll back it up again because I accidentally hit the wrong button. He's getting loose coming out of turn 2 there. He just goes and catches it and catches it and catches it until he couldn't catch it no more. Right there into the wall. He collects the 2 car and goes into the wall again, right in front of the 95 of Bruce Rivers. Bruce nowhere to go, the 20 car nowhere to go. And then Bruce just proceeds to drive through him after the initial contact. And that was enough to put the 24 on his lid. And he goes for the long slide on his roof, all the way down to the bottom of the track, as we see Gareth Anderson there, moving out of the way of the 24 car, as he makes his slow descent to his eventual parking place.
Meanwhile, we have pit stops going on as the leader and Alexander Russell take a dip down into pit road. That does put Rachel Hunt up towards the front as well.
And it also puts Brian Chambliss into the lead of this race. It'll be Chambliss from Rhoda, Kilcrease, and Hunt. Ashton Crowder there in 5th, and Chuck Mobley in P6.
Looking at it now, J.R. Hager is also taking his time in his pit stall. I wonder if he was also taking some damage. Some time to fix his damage there.
He very well could be. As we should be on about 2 to green here. We'll get the one. My apologies. Should be getting the 1 to green signal as they come across the start finish line this time.
Off of those pit stops, Alex did get ahead of the 88 and the 26 here. So he will be the first car on fresh tires behind the front 2 rows here.
As everyone's getting ready to go. Chambliss choosing the outside line from Rhoda, Hunt, Kilcrease, Manger, Russell, Hogan, Hager, Runge, Mobley, and Anderson in P11.
Go, go, go. Green flag.
And Chambliss out to a big lead off the restart, getting the jump.
Oh, we have contact into 2 as the 26 goes around. I think it was some net code off of the 42, unfortunately.
So let's have a look at that restart. Let's get a tighter shot in on this. Actually, looks like Rachel Hunt might have gotten into the wall a little bit, and yep, a little bit of netcode there from the Belle Delphine, number 42 of Alexander Russell. Unfortunately, J.R. Hager nowhere to go, running into the back of the 26 as he was going around. And luckily, no one else getting into him as he got back going again here, Chris.
Yeah, luckily everybody got around him, held the brake there, which is always a good sight to see, as a little courtesy there.
So with that caution, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we should be just about getting ready to get going again. So stay tuned. Alright, we are back. And you can see Brian Chambliss is still in control of this race from Robert Roeder, Ben Kilcrease, Rachel Hunt, Alexander Russell in 5th, Boyd Hogan in P6, Chuck Mobley, Gareth Anderson in 8th with Ryan Charles in 9th. Those two never usually having good races right up there in the points pain positions. And Ashton Crowder has worked his way back up to 11th. J.R. Hager, after that contact, is in... Oh, Ashton Crowder in 10th. J.R. Hager, after that contact, is in 11th. But question mark over his car and whether it can survive, Chris.
Yeah, just gotta mind your temps here, because that's what happened to me when I blew up. I got into the back to the 34 on that first caution. It was only down 100 RPM, but as y'all saw, running on that restart, and just blew up. Really wasn't paying attention. So you really gotta mind your nose here at Bristol.
Alright, so we are on 1 to green. We'll be going green this time by... Let's see what start Chambliss will get this time. As it seems to be, most people... Yeah, everyone's lining up single file. It's a single file restart. And we're off and racing.
Green flag.
That looked like a very late call for a single file restart there, honestly. But
Yeah,
that is...
I feel it's just a glitch or something with iRacing, and because I was hearing some talks about the quick caution single file restart there.
And we have another caution already. And this one involves the 48 of Ryan Charles, who has gone around. Let's see what happened to Ryan in this one. See him battling with the 72 and the 88. He slides up into the 72, forces the 72 into a wall, and the angle that he had on it was enough to put him around. Oh, massive contact with the inside wall. That's going to be probably his night done. Oh, does he get another whack here? He does. From the 84. Oh, poor Ryan. Derek Runge getting into him. And then we're going to reset and try this all again.
So the nature is here at Bristol. Cautions do breed cautions.
Indeed they do. So that is going to leave us with a top 10 of Chambliss, Roeder, Kilcrease, Hunt, Russell, Hogan, Mobley, Anderson, Hager, and Crowder. We have 14 cars on the lead lap. That's Runge, Manger, Marola, and Rivers filling out those 4 spots. Adam Walker is the first car 1 lap down. Jason McQuinn is in 16th, Swiggett 17th. So McQuinn and Swiggett are actually 2 laps down with Ryan Charles now. So I don't expect we'll see Ryan making a return to racing action. So McQuinn and Swiggett, after the next caution, will be in line for the lucky dog, even though they're 2 laps down. So that'll be a good battle between them to watch.
Yeah, definitely. Taking a look back towards around 13th, 14th. I think the 95 was the lucky dog on that caution. He is in the pits for some repairs, for some heavy damage onto his nose. We have our first modified of the evening.
Oh, trust me, we've had modifieds for a long time tonight already. Ever since the first caution, we've had modifieds. But we'll have to wait and see whether a modified can get towards the front and fight for a win like we had last week, which was quite interesting to watch, actually. As we are on 1 to green, it's going to be a single file restart again, because we didn't get a full lap in. We're not far away from the next stage caution either. Pace car is in.
29 to go.
Green flag.
28 to go at the line.
And we're off and racing this time. Brian Chambliss waiting for the green flag, which has made sure that he doesn't get too big of a getaway here. Robert Roeder is right on his tail. How many R words can I say in a sentence with his name?
Look back towards 6th place as we see JR trying to defend from Ashton Crowder and the 26 of Hogan. Ashton really coming back up through the field after his repairs.
Indeed he is, but these guys are losing time to the pack in front of them. In fact, our 2 leaders pulling away a little bit, almost making it 3 packs here for lead lap cars. But it's still practically a 2-pack battle at the minute. As we're going to go and have a look at the 53 car in P2, who has started to fall into the clutches of Ben Kilcrease here.
Look back, the 96 is working on the inside of Alexander Russell, as it looks like he got into the wall and brushed it a little bit there into 1 and 2. 96 just half a car length ahead at the line, but can't clear him coming into 1 and 2 as he just about cleared him coming into 3 and 4.
We did see Alexander Russell there experimenting with the demonic portals, not working out in his favor though. That outside line is not conducive to help from the demonic realm. As we also got some moves being made up the front for 2nd place. As soon as I can click the right button, there it is. Got Robert Roeder trying to run on the inside of Ben Gilcrease.
16 of Rachel Hunt gets into the wall, trying to defend from the 96 also in this battle here.
So we got a lot of battles up here.
96 does make the move on the inside of Rachel Hunt.
That 96 is on a charge right now, Boyd Hogan. Oh, as the 2 cars in front got into the wall very slightly. And here comes Boyd to the inside of Gilcrease. Let's see what he can do here. And is he going to try and get a 2 for here? Oh, there was a little bit of contact. I dare say that was netcode between Hogan and Gilcrease as the caution flag is out again. This one is going to be for the 00 of Gareth Anderson, who has turned his car into a modified with a hood. And let's see what happened here. Like he's battling it out with the 511 of Gary Peck. He gets into the wall, comes down into Gary, which sent Gary around. Thomas Light right there with nowhere to go. The 23 just managing to miss the back of Gareth. Oh, unfortunately the other car that was involved in there, unlucky. The 37. That is Timothy Swiggett. And I can't see the 511. What happened to him? I think he got launched into a different plane of existence. He did. Wow. Let's see that again. The 511 getting launched into a different plane of existence altogether. We got this on the slowest possible slow-mo we can get it. See Thomas Light pulling a wheelie. still getting into the 511.
Meanwhile, under the caution flag here, we have the leader Brian Chambliss come under pit road here with bringing the 53, the 42, and the 14 with him, promoting the 96 into the lead for this restart.
You have got to see the 511 just launch out of the stratosphere. That was crazy. But yes, your top 10 at the moment is as stands. It is Boyd Hogan, Rachel Hunt, J.R. Hager, Kyle Manja, Gareth Anderson in 5th, with the 53 of Robert Roda in P6. Just waiting for some more people to sort themselves out. Ben Kilcrease in 7th, Alexander Russell in 8th. And it's going to be Derek Runge. No, it's going to be Ashton Crowder in 9th. With the 78 of Chuck Mobley in P10. And there is the 25 of Brian Chambliss in 11th. Going to be Brian Marola 12th. And the 84 of Derek Runge in 13th. As I see the 25 has actually come back down the pit lane again. That was our leader, Brian Chambliss. As we're coming to 1 to green this time.
'96 of Boyd Hogan electing to take the top here, which means Rachel Hunt is going to unfortunately have to take the bottom on this restart. You know how detrimental that can be on restarts coming into 1 and 2. Not being able to carry that momentum as well enough as the top side.
I love these two cars being next to each other, but I'd prefer Rachel being on the outside, because together they make an EA logo.
I did not notice that. That is very interesting.
EA Sports. It's in the game. As we get the restart, and Boyd Hogan has taken the lead. Rachel with a very terrible restart there. Already dropping all the way back to P5. And no one on the inside lane is going to be happy about that. Because the 4 cars in the outside lane that lined up 1st, 4th, 6th and 8th are now your top 4.
See the 53 working on the 26 here, and Alexander Russell follows him on the inside, takes the opportunity to get on the inside of the 53 as well, slides up, almost connecting into the 53 there. Oh, I think there's a bit of contact with there, the 46 into the back of the 42. Ashton Carter looking on the inside here of the 26, not being able to carry the momentum off of the corner here.
As we continue on, you can see Rachel Hunt just sitting there looming in the background, keeping an eye on things here in front of her with the 26 and the 72. So the 72 of Ashton Crowder does take the position of 4th away. Let's see him make the charge towards the front of this pack now. As we see on the inside line there, I think that's Bruce Rivers getting out of the way for the leading pack as they were coming around. He is very highly damaged in that super modified of his. And now here comes the 72 trying to make a move on Robert Roda for P2. To the inside he goes. Not quite going to get there just yet. Very close quarters combat here at Bristol. Got Boyd Hogan trying to run the middle, but that's going to open him up to a 3-wide pass, and it's not going to matter anyway because the 84 has brought out the caution this time. Let's see what happened to Derek Runge here. He was in a battle with the 20 car of Adam Walker. Oh, he got into the outside wall and down into Adam he went. Around goes Adam and into him again for a second tap. Always remember, double tap your enemies. Goes Derek
Hey,
Runge.
Corey, how we doing, man?
Hey, Ryan, what's going on, man?
Not very much. We're calling the stage there for everybody, so just so you know.
Yeah.
All
Miss
right.
Vicky say that we got word about that.
Thank you very much for that information, Ryan. How's your race going, man?
It's going bad. I was really excited. I had a car that was coming back from the field, and I got my lap back, and just didn't think Ashton was going to make that move on the outside that soon into the run. Thought I had a little bit more room than I did, and it's my fault I got into it. I'm glad to see he's still running okay, though. He's got a good car, so I'm glad I did take him out with me.
All right, well, you gonna stay here and hang out with us, or you gonna return to the darkened pits?
I still have another 7 minutes of damage that has to be fixed, plus some optional. So I'm gonna hang out with you guys.
Awesome sauce. And now we've got a 3-person commentating crew.
So am I in turn 1 then?
All right, so what we'll do is we'll go Ryan in turn 1, we'll go Chris turn 3, and I'll do the straights. Sound good?
Yeah, let me get
Okay,
into. Let me
see.
fix my camera angle here.
So this is an experiment here on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. We apologise if everyone finds this distressing or disturbing in any way, shape or form. You can also go suck a dick, and that is my second for the broadcast. Alright, so our top 10 as it stands right now is going to be the 14 of Ben Kilcrease, 96 of Boyd Hogan, the 72 of Ashton Crowder, the 53 of Robert Roeder, and the 5 of Alexander Russell. That's your top 5. Then it's Rachel Hunt, Kyle Manger, J.R. Hager, Chuck Mobley, and Brian Chambliss as your top 10. It looks like we're going for a double file restart this time. As the lights are out on the pace car. Alright boys, we're focusing on the 14 and the 96.
14 starting on the outside this time. He's been doing that most of the race. Got Boyd Hogan on his inside, Ashton Crowder, Robert Roeder.
And we're off and racing. Ben Kilcrease with a early lead. Go Ryan.
And we do still have the 14, but 96 trying to make a run on the inside, and 53 coming up behind him.
Go Chris.
See the 96 here rolling on the inside, trying to make that inside line work, but he is under pressure of the 53 on the outside there.
Go Ryan.
Lose.
I say we go over laps here.
Hey man, it's all part of the process.
We're gonna throw it back to you, let you catch everybody up here, and then you can throw it to us when you feel like it. We'll see what we can do.
Alright, so Boyd Hogan trying to find a way around the 14 of Ben Kilcrease here. He's not going to be able to find a way at the moment. Looks like he's just waiting, sizing up his opportunity. To the inside he goes. Not going to quite get him cleared coming up in turn 2. He's going to try and do that in 3 and 4. As I mentioned earlier, it can sometimes take a full lap to get a move made. Isn't that right, Ryan?
It is, and Boyd is holding his own on the bottom. Ben's really pushing hard, but this is giving the 53 a chance to catch up to the two of them. We're going to have a three-way battle here very shortly, Chris.
Yeah, as we see the 96 get in front of the 14 here, the 53 trying to find a way around the 14, trying to search for some grip here, coming off of 2. Looking on the inside, and just can't find the momentum carry him through as he looks on the inside here, but can't. You just, like I said, he just can't keep the momentum up.
And I don't think he's going to be able to get the move made there because to really get the inside move made here, you got to start the move from the outside line and really wrench it right down to that low line. And at the moment, that is not what he was doing. He was trying to go from the middle lane to the low lane, and that's just not going to give you enough momentum to even think about getting that move made. But we also have moves being made a little bit further back in the pack. The 72 car making his way through, boys. Brian currently battling for third.
The 26 car, actually, I would keep my eyes on. He got stuck on the bottom a couple laps ago, and he's dropped from third or fourth earlier back now to, wow, he's all the way back to 7th. That's pretty crazy. It's a pretty big drop. 8th now. Main drive's a good car, though. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back through the field here. We've got an interesting battle on the outside for the 14. Got into the 53. We got a wreck on the front.
And that is some shenanigans.
Boyd was way out front.
So let's back this up and have another look at it slowly. So you can see the 53 of Robert Roeder there on the inside line. And he just comes up. Netcode. Netcode, be thy name. And into the 14 goes the 53 to 72. Just getting the scrape on the 14. Rachel Hunt involved. J.R. Hager involved again. 53 gets an extra punt from the 88. The 42 gives an extra punt to the 14. Brian Chambliss to the apron to miss it all. 26 also to the apron to miss it all. Chuck Mobley just putters around on the apron as well. But that is a typical Bristol crash with some typical iRacing netcode, wouldn't you say, Chris?
Yeah, unfortunately, netcode has been one of the main issues in this series of late. Just really creating unnecessary wrecks that most likely wouldn't happen if netcode wasn't the issue. But looking now, we have pit stops here as the 96 leads the field down into pit road here, following with Ashton Crowder behind him. See if he can get a good jump off of the jack to see if he can beat the 96 out here.
Looks like we've got just about everybody on pit road. The 72 wins the race off.
Indeed he does. Boyd Hogan, the 96, is going to be second. As Jason McQuinn comes in for his pit stop after getting the Lucky Dog wave around. So your current order of your top 13 cars on the lead lap is going to be Ashton Crowder, Boyd Hogan, Robert Roeder, Alexander Russell, Kyle Manger, Chuck Mobley, Brian Chambliss, Jason McQuinn, Gareth Anderson in 9th. But in 8th, J.R. Hager, Ben Kilcrease, Rachel Hunt, Jason McQuinn, and Brian Marola, and then Jason McQuinn in 13th. Timothy Swiggett, the first car lap down, 2 laps down in 14th. We're on caution number 9. We've had 45 laps of caution right now, 46 when the pace car gets to the start-finish line. 114 laps to go. Alright boys, I've got to know, Ryan first, who you got your money on to win this race, and why?
Oh, I'm looking at who we have in the top 5 already, and it's a difficult call at this point. I mean, Ashton's got a good car, Boyd's got a good car, they're running this thing really well, so I'm going to pick 2 of them. The front row right now, I think one of these 2 guys will hold on to it.
Chris, very quickly, your turn, go.
Like an underdog here, I feel like the 26 is going to pull out an upset here, find his way into the lead from 6th position.
Alright, well, I've got 2 as well, but mine are going to be the 42 and the 25. The Belle Delphine car would just be funny to have the win, and Brian Chambliss is always looking strong as we get the green flag again, and the 72 of Ashton Crowder pulls out to a early lead. but it's not going to be a terribly big lead because Alexander Russell and Boyd Hogan are still right there in second and third. Boyd not letting that inside line be too much of a disadvantage. He has dropped back to third, and he does have the gap to try and squeeze up, but well, not now. The gap closed, but he's not looking slow on the inside line, which is the main point here, Ryan.
Yeah, he's the first person I've seen be able to run that line and hold on to the door-to-door run. We got another caution.
Yeah,
See what
and
happened.
caution is for the 23 and the 37. Have a look at what happened to McQuinn and Swiggett. Oh, and it was actually netcode off of Gareth that's put Swiggett around and into McQuinn. So unfortunately, netcode playing another role in bringing out this caution. This is caution number 10 now, gentlemen. So with that, we are going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we should be just about ready to get going again here, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Alrighty, we are back, and I'm pretty sure very shortly here we're going to have to bid adieu to Ryan Child because his damages should just about be fixed. So,
Yes, my damages are absolutely fixed, and I've just turned on my telemetry to see a wonderful 1680 RPM. So I'll be staying right here with y'all.
awesome sauce. Alright.
Almost sounds like the intermediate package.
It really does, doesn't it? You know, the old 550 horsepower.
That's about what I've got.
I've seen lawnmowers with more horsepower than that.
Most lawnmowers do have more horsepower than me.
Either way, our top half dozen cars, we'll go to the top 12 because that's how many cars we have on the lead lap. It's going to be Crowder, Hogan, Russell, Manger, Chambliss as your top 5, Hager, Mobley, Marola, Anderson, Hunt as your top 10 with McQuinn and Rhoda in 11th and 12th. The next car is Timothy Swiggett in a 37, 2 laps down. He did not get a wave around to go 1 lap down because he was obviously involved in that incident. As we are on 1 to green, it looks like the 72 of Crowder has chosen the outside lane. Boyd Hogan again segregated to the inside lane. We'll have to wait and see.
Russell not giving him any room out there. Look at that.
No, he's itching to go here.
He definitely is in that Belle Delphine car. We'll have to wait and see how the restart goes for him. The 26 is sitting there on the outside lane as well. Kyle Manger, he'll be looking for a good restart as we're off and racing.
Go, go, go. Green flag.
And that was actually a very good restart there for Boyd Hogan on the inside line. He stays in second, most importantly, but here comes Alexander Russell on that low lane. Unable to get a move made so far, and there's no gap for him to slot into on the outside because the 26 of Kyle Manger is not letting him have any room there, Chris.
No, he's not. We see Alexander Russell slide up just a little bit into 3 and 4 previous lap. Just trying to find some grip and not wash up into anybody else and cause a caution here.
And he is continuing to fall back now. We see J.R. Hager there in P6. He wants to be in the top 5. And he's running the half modified car as well. He's got the hood on it, but he doesn't have the front bumper as he is trying to take over that 5th position, Ryan.
Yeah, Alex is having nothing but trouble on the bottom there. Like I said, Boyd's the only one I've seen that can make the bottom work really at all. You can hang on for a little while down there, but there's just so much more grip and momentum up at the top. You can see where it's rubbered in. Bottom line starting to get a little bit of rubber on it in the corners, but that top line is dominating.
And we have a battle forming for the lead. Boyd has taken over the lead now from Ashton Crowder. We'll have to see if Ashton's got an answer for him to try and take him back in that Uno number 72 car. But at the moment, he does not. Brian Chambliss also looking a little bit racy there in the 25 car, sitting in fourth, just giving a little bit of a tap to Kyle Manger there, and has actually invited J.R. Hager in the 88 to go up the inside of both of them and try and make a move work. J.R. Hager is another one who has been making that inside line work pretty nicely. Some would say that he's making that inside line his bitch, and that is the third for the broadcast, and I should probably slow down on the swears, but I just can't help it, I'm so excited.
Yeah, we were looking forward to this week's race. It was a big one on the calendar. As you saw, we had a whole bunch of new guys that decided they wanted to come out and give us a look this week, so we're very happy for that. Appreciate Boyd bringing his guys over and bringing some extra talent this week. It's always good to have those guys around.
See the 88 here working on the 42 of Alexander Russell here on the bottom, trying to make the pass and keep his momentum on the inside here. Working also on the 25. The 26 also dips a little bit lower coming off the 2, giving the 25 a lane, but shuts the door on him. As the 25 looks on the inside of Ashton Crowder here, he might get the move down into P2. So he does into turn 1, but is he going to clear him off the 2 though is the real question here.
And he does not quite get him cleared, and I must correct the co-commentator here. It's the 26 of Kyle Manger. Gets him cleared coming off of turn 4 though. And now it's up to Brian Chambliss in the 25 to see if he can make his way around Ashton Crowder as well. At the moment, it's not looking likely as J.R. Hager slots himself back into P6. We'll have to wait and see how this battle will unfold. As I just farted, and it felt pretty damn good, Brian.
That's a great way to pass it over. I hope you feel better. The 72 is still looking like he's dropping back a little bit. I'm not sure if he's starting to have some trouble with the tires. Can't imagine with only 24 laps on this set, but he's falling back into the clutches of the 25 and then the 42 following them. But Boyd has a pretty good line on the outside. He's still running P1 with Kyle Manger running second, Ashton Crowder running third, Brian Chambliss fourth, and Alexander Russell there in fifth in that beautiful pink car.
As we're going through turns 3 and 4, we got 90 laps to go when we get to the start-finish line. In fact, we are on 90 to go. It's very short laps around here. Our current fastest lap is actually set by Ashton Crowder in that 72. It's a 14.853, which is pretty damn quick. When you consider, that means that if they keep that pace up, they can do 4 laps every minute and still be into turn 1 by the end of it.
We are only showing about 22 minutes left in the race if this thing goes green like this, so the pace has been pretty blistering for the set we brought out here. We didn't really expect to see all these 14s, but pretty cool racing.
And now we also have a battle going on for P2. The 72 of Ashton Crowder trying to work his way on the inside of the 26 of Kyle Manger. Little bit of contact there, Chris, as they're coming out of turn number 4.
Yeah, that allows the 25 to gain momentum on the 72 here as he starts to fall back a little bit. Also brings the 42 of Alexander Russell into question in this battle for P3 here. Looking ahead, they're going to catch up to this lap traffic here within a couple laps, which will play a factor into this battle.
And as you saw there in the background, the 42 of Alexander Russell indeed slamming that Belle Delphine car into the wall, pretending it was the girl herself. But unfortunately, it is not. It's just the car. So that is going to affect him here for the rest of the race a little bit, because there will be a little bit of damage on his car from that. But at the moment, the 26 is still holding off the 72 of Ashton Crowder, and that's actually invited Brian Chambliss to close in on both of these guys. And Crowder looking like he was trying to slip himself into the smallest gap that I've ever seen opened up for someone to have a sniff at there, Ryan.
Yeah, he's really trying to get back to that second position. He knows that there's not a lot of time left in this race, and he's going to make a move on Boyd. He's got to get up there now. The 26 car looks pretty strong too. He was running P6, maybe 50 laps ago, and now he's up to P2. So Boyd, Kyle, Ashton, Brian, and Alex still up front, top 5.
We are continuing to have a look at this battle per second. Boyd has started to pull away. He's got a 1.1 second gap over Kyle at the moment. Lap traffic definitely playing a part in that one, allowing the gap to increase as we see now the 72 looking to the inside of the 26. That is going to be Ashton Crowder back up into P2 here, and Kyle Manger down to third. Chris.
Yeah, we see the 42 of Alexander Russell also falling back behind the 25 here. Could be losing a little bit of grip on the tires. Tire wear also coming to a factor here. If we do keep green for the rest of this race, might have to see some green flag pit stops here.
Well, that is very muchly a possibility. Of course, we are running the singular pit lane, which means that both the pit lanes are connected by that blue line that you see there going through turns 3 and 4. Which means it's a very long transit time to get through the pits. It could be interesting, but we'll have to wait and see, as the 42 is indeed falling back. Possibly a little bit of tyre wear, possibly a little bit of damage as well. And as I said, he was slamming that Belle Delphine car into the wall like he was trying to slam her into the wall, but that's neither here nor there. That's a sexual joke that we'll save for another time, as the battle is still on for third between the 25 and the 26. That is Brian Chambliss and Kyle Manger respectively. 25 is a previous winner, won big at Sonoma, and has been looking very strong at most of the tracks we go to. Just getting a little bit unlucky at some of the races, Ryan.
Yeah, it's been a rough go for him for the last little while. And we've got some pit stops that are starting, and we can hear over the driver channel that I keep monitor on for us. And I didn't see who said they're going to be pitting, but we definitely have some cars getting ready to hit pit road, as we were just talking about. Chris?
Oh, I can tell you it was the 53 of Robert Roeder who is in the pits, and he's already gone a lap down, and he's only just traversed the length of the back straight pit lane, Chris.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate toll you have to take here with the single pit lane, is you have to agonizingly trek through the back straight before you hit the front stretch. And even if you are on the back stretch in your pit stall, you have to go all the way around through the front stretch, not cut it short off of into the entrance of 3.
It'd be really good if iRacing implemented that you can have dual pit lanes under green and the single pit lane under caution, just like they do in real life, but unfortunately that might be a little bit far off and a little bit of wishful thinking. But at least we do have the opportunity to have the singular pit lane, which is something that we've been crying out for a long time, as the 25 of Brian Chambliss is in P3, and he's starting to work on some of this lap traffic as he's starting his charge towards trying to close this gap between himself and the 72 of Ashton Crowder, who has been actively closing the gap to Boyd Hogan in the lead. In fact, they now have no lapped cars between them here, Ryan.
Yeah, I've been watching that battle. Boyd had it up to about 1.4 seconds, and Ashton's now got it down to 0.35 going into this corner. He's definitely catching them. I think Boyd might have worn his stuff out a little faster than Ashton did, trying to get that lead earlier. And got about a half a second, less than half a second now between the two of them, with no lap traffic left to deal with.
Definitely some clear track in front of them here, as the only car in front of them is Jason McQuinn, but he is about 2 seconds up the road, so he's not really going to be a factor for a little bit here, as long as he can keep a decent pace. But this could become a very interesting battle here as the laps start to wind down, Chris.
Yeah, looking a little bit further back here, Alexander Russell has fallen back and lost a couple places. I don't know if that was already there before. I mean, just losing my mind, but it seems like the 26 is trying to close the gap on the 25 here for P3. Just searching for grip.
The blistering pace they're running, they're just about lapped the field. These guys up front, we got 5 seconds between first and second and the rest of the lead pack, and then we've got cars a lap down starting in 8th place. So Boyd and Ashton are showing them how it's done.
Indeed they are, as we have about 64 laps left to run in this race. And at the moment, we have a titanic battle forming here on our screens in front of us for the lead. Ashton trying to look for any way around Boyd that he can get. But at the moment, he just can't find the right line, as they have now caught up to Jason McQuinn in that 23 car. So that's going to make things just a little bit harder for both these drivers. And they're looking for the outside. Oh, McQuinn holding up the leader. That has allowed Ashton Crowder up on the inside to take the lead away. Chris.
96 isn't going to be too happy as he looks on the inside of Ashton Crowder here to try to get that position back. Seems like Ashton used the 23 here as a pick into turn 1. Definitely going to upset the 96 here with that lead change.
But nevertheless, that is going to be Ashton into lead, and he's going to start trying to pull away from Boyd Hogan because he doesn't want that to come back and bite him in the ass. We do know short track tempers do tend to flare at places like here and Martinsville, so we'll just have to wait and see how these drivers deal with it. Going back to our battle for third, and it looks like the 26 of Kyle Manger has just ever so slightly been catching up to Brian Chambliss here. Although in saying that, Chambliss not exactly slowing down for him. Probably more of a fact of Kyle's just found a little bit of something that has been allowing him to catch up a little bit here, Ryan.
Yeah, Kyle's closed the gap. He's 7 seconds behind the leader, but he's only about a half a second or so, 3/4 of a second behind Brian. So I don't think that anybody's going to have anything for our top 2, but it'll be an interesting race for 3rd and 4th here coming back to the line.
And we can see that Brian Chambliss just lost 2 tenths to second place Boyd Hogan, but he gained a tenth over Kyle Manger. So this is going to be a very close battle here for third. And saying that, there is only 6 cars on the lead lap. So the next car to be victimized by our leaders will be the 88 of J.R. Hager. And I'm just trying to look for him on the track. He's just coming out of 4. And the 72's just come out of 4 as well. So there is less than half a straight in between our first place and our 6th place cars. So we'll have to see how this will unfold for these guys. As you can see, a lot of the other lap traffic is just getting out of the way. There's Rachel Hunt, who has not been having a terribly good night. She is down in 9th, 1 lap down, and she's about to be 2 laps down now as Ashton Crowder gets around her. And the next car on the list is going to be the 88 of J.R. Hager. As I said, he is at the moment the last car on the lead lap, but that is not going to last very long at all, as Ashton Crowder is starting to hound his rear here, Chris.
Yeah, just trying to manage that lap traffic here at Bristol is always a tough challenge, and strategy will be playing a factor here as we get into 50 to go at the line. Looking back towards 3rd place, we see Brian Chambliss lose a little bit of time to the 26 here. 26 is about car length to 2 car lengths back here, trying to find some time on the bottom, but I don't know if that's going to work out, Ryan.
Yeah, that race for 3rd is getting tight. It's about a half a second between the 2 of them. But I'm really focused up here on the front to see if Ashton can get through this traffic, and if he gets slowed down at all, if Boyd's able to take advantage and get back to the lead using a pick. Oh, it just looks like he got in the 88. Yeah, so Boyd and JR going at it on the radio. It's a battle on the racetrack and on the radio.
We'll have to wait and see how that one is going to unfold for these guys later. But you know, at the moment, Ashton Crowder still pulling away with it here in the 72 car. Only 5 cars left on the lead lap, and the next one is going to be the 42 of Alexander Russell, running that Belle Delphine car. As I can see on the front straight, the 24 is going slow. But let's just try and get a little bit of a gap here. It is 3.3 seconds on track between the back of Alexander Russell and the front of Ashton Crowder. So we could see only 4 cars on the lead lap before the end of this race, gentlemen.
We very well may see less than that, as Brian Chambliss and Kyle are both 11.5 or so seconds behind as well. It only takes 15 seconds to get around this place, so within another few laps at 3-4 tenths a lap, we might only see 2 guys left on the lead lap by the end.
We'll have to wait and see indeed. Ashton Crowder is definitely putting a bit of a spanking on the field, as we can see him just expertly navigate this lap traffic. Of course, the 24 of Gregory Harris just pulled out of the way there so he wouldn't get into the way. He's 51 laps down. In 18th is the 24 car. And it looks like we've actually got a little bit of a gaggle forming just behind our 3rd and 4th place drivers. But we're not going to look at that just yet, because just in front of Chuck Mobley, who's in front of Ashton Crowder, is going to be our 5th place driver of Alexander Russell, who is that close to going a lap down here, Chris.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate nature of taking damage here. It adds up over time with simple brushes against the wall. Leads up to some real aero damage that can honestly affect you here at Bristol.
And we also have another development. There has been a change for 3rd. Kyle Manger has re-overtaken 3rd from Brian Chambliss. Pretty sure Chambliss got a little bit loose coming off of turn 2 last time by, and Manger was able to take advantage of that, Ryan.
Yeah, I actually don't have that on camera right now. I was keeping an eye on the front pack while you were taking a look at that, so I didn't see the pass, but we've got Crowder trying to work his way around the 42 now. Alexander Russell finally does that on the inside. Looks like Alex gave him a little bit of room, and he's coming up on Gareth Anderson at this point, trying to work his way through this lap traffic. Back up to you.
And Gareth's car looks very beaten and broken there. I don't know how that thing is still going. There's a couple of super modifieds in the pack, which is just a byproduct of racing here at Bristol. But at the moment, the 72 of Ashton Crowder has just absolutely pulled away with this and is taking a full advantage. And you can see him just carving his way through traffic like it's absolutely nothing. We have 34 laps left to run in this race, and he is showing no signs of slowing down here, Chris.
Yeah, and saying that he is catching up to the 3rd and 4th place cars of Ryan Chambliss and Kyle Manger here, as they got past the lap traffic here. The real question is, will Ashton Carter be able to catch them before the end of this race to only make it a 2-car field?
Oh,
we have trouble on the backstretch with the 23 and the 96. The 96 gets hit by... Oh no, big damage for the 96. Gets tagged by Gareth Anderson.
So let's see what's unfolded here coming out of turn 2.
Oh, we have some retaliation on the track. Oh no.
So we'll go back and have a look at the retaliation in a second. Let's see the actual cause of it. They got the 23 and the 42 there. And honestly, that was not the 23's fault.
Yeah,
23 was holding his line and was just off the wall. And the 42 bounced off the wall and into the 96.
Yeah, sorry if I miscall out numbers here. I am in a very high aerial view of the entire track just to get all of the action here.
Yeah, I have no idea why Boyd decided to go after the 23 of McQuinn there, because that was not McQuinn's fault at all. Short track tempers getting the better of him, I guess. But if he was going to go after anyone, he should go after the 42, but
oh man.
That is definitely going to
Embers
have to
are
be.
flaring over the radio here.
I've got to step
Corey.
away, guys.
Yeah, understandable as our admin team takes care of the little retaliation issue we had on track. Looking at it now, we have pit stops as Ashton Crowder leads the field down.
So what this is going to do is this is going to bring the 25 and the 26 back into it. They will be right on our leader's tail. And we're also going to have J.R. Hager back on the lead lap because the 42 of Alexander Russell was involved in that incident. So he didn't get his wave around because he had contact. But with that, we're going to go to a quick commercial break while we try and sort ourselves out a little bit here. And when we come back, we should be just about getting ready to go green. So make sure you guys stay tuned.
What happened from Alex
All right,
himself.
we are back. And, yeah, the admin team, which is Ryan at the moment, definitely busy with that one. He's not in the booth at the moment. But what we do have is Kyle Manger with Brian Chambliss as first and second as the pace car goes in, and we are off and racing. And Manger with a big jump over Chambliss. Chambliss holding on to second though as the 72 of Ashton Crowder is sitting in third. J.R. Hager, by getting the wave around, had to start at the back of the pack. But he is going to try and make his way through the field here a little bit to see if he can't catch up to these guys a little bit. We only have 25 laps to go when they get to the line this time by.
This does change everything for the end of the race here. Strategy is out.
Oh, Chambliss has gotten loose.
Loses third. He loses second. Loses Ashton Crowder. Potentially might lose third here to J.R. Hager if he doesn't keep up the momentum.
And I don't think he will. He's continued going, but that has definitely ruined his chances of trying to get the win here. Going back up to the front of the pack, the 26 and the 72 are still going at it. 72 pushing very hard on the outside line, but that 26 is just looking very strong right now, Chris.
Yeah, like I said, it's a dark horse, man. 26. Pulling out an upset.
But yeah, that definitely changed the entire scope of the field. You have to wait and see the complete fallout from the actions of what happened before. Boyd Hogan is scored as being in 12th, 9 laps down. So, you know, big implications there coming his way. I would suggest Jason McQuinn in 9th, 3 laps down. But either way, back onto the race. We now have 20 laps left to run, and that will go by so very quickly. We could probably get this done in 5 minutes if we stay clean and green for the rest of the way. The 26 diamonding off the corner ever so slightly. He's just going from the high line to the mid line. 72 doing the same, but he's going a little bit lower and starting his diamond a little bit earlier in the corner. We'll have to wait and see which strategy is going to work. It looks like the 72 is gaining more momentum on the 26. The 26 goes a little bit lower there to block. Now opened up the outside line, just about opening up enough for the 72 of Crowder to get in there, Chris.
Yeah, it was very risky there to let him have the top almost and slide up in front of him. That could have been really big if they had made contact and wrecked out 1-2.
And if they did do that, that would have brought the 25 of Brian Chambliss back into the lead of the race. But as it stands, these two are still battling it out here for first and second. And it is a very close battle indeed. It'll be interesting to see how this will unfold for both drivers here, Chris.
Yeah, with only 20 laps to go now,
15.
we see Ashton Carter working. 15, sorry. My bad. I'm bad at maths. It's been a long day. Had a job interview. Shameless plug. But yeah, we see Ashton Carter looking for different line options here off of the corner.
As we start getting into the lap traffic here, it's going to start getting a little bit harder for Crowder to try and make a move unless he can try and pin the 26 of Manger behind a lapped car, which is going to be easier said rather than done. As these guys continue on, you see the 23 of McQuinn there, the next car to go a lap down again. And the 26 actually used him as a little bit of a pit to stay in the lead. As we are coming to 11.5 laps to go. To the inside goes Crowder this time. And will he be crowding Kyle Manger up on the top line? No, he's not. Kyle managing to hold onto it with the momentum at the moment. As we're going to be coming to 10 laps to go this time at the line, Chris.
Real question is here, as we get closer and closer to the finish of this race, will we see Ashton Carter use the bumper? But looks like he's looking on the inside, trying to make it work for the 26 here. Just can't get the move done. Slides back up right behind him.
Yeah, without the traction compound, the PJ1 on the inside of the track, we see all the cars currently running the high line. Not too many people venturing down low. If we had Thomas Harmon here, I'm sure he would be catfishing down there on the bottom. So he can usually do that pretty damn well. But the setup didn't agree with him. Oh, as the 72 got into the back of the 20 of Adam Walker there ever so slightly. It might have been netcode on my screen, but it definitely looked and sounded like contact.
Very close there. Could fit a piece of paper in between them.
So as you can see, these
72
two...
looking on the inside here, side by side, going into 2. Ashton Carter get the move done. He's still on his quarter panel here. Coming into 3 and 4. Only 5 laps.
And we have a caution on the track again. And I can't actually see who the cause of this one is. But I have a sneaking suspiciounism that it might have been the 23 of Jason McQuinn.
I didn't see anything there. I was too focused on the leaders here.
It was Jason. Jason has done an engine. And he pulls it down to the apron, and it looks like he might just tow from the apron, which brought out the caution.
Sorry to cut you off. The 26 fakes out Ashton Crowder onto pit road, but it does look like he does lose out on a couple positions, maybe committed a commitment line violation here. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, I do see that 26 car dropping down the field. So, big implications indeed. This has put Brian Chambliss, the 25 car, in the lead of this race. And the 42 of Alexander Russell back on the lead lap. So we now have 5 cars to battle it out for the win here in this race. We'll have to wait and see how it will all unfold for these drivers, as the 26 does decide to come down to the pit lane this time. But Brian Chambliss, he is not coming in. He last pitted on lap 220. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get a green-white checker here, Chris.
Yeah, we do have a limit of 3 green-white checkers here in the series. Be interested to see how many of those we are actually going to use up here, with only 2 remaining after this restart.
Well, hopefully we only use the 1, because it'd be a little bit of a travesty if we were to use any more than that. But we'll have to wait and see. As the 88 of J.R. Hager come flying up to the back of our 3 leaders and locked up and hit the wall a little bit there.
Now that is going to cost him a little bit there, as he is on the lead lap in P3. Probably won't be in contention for the race here. He might be, though. Have to keep an eye on him.
Well, he is already running in a modified as we get the 1 to green signal this time. Brian Chambliss is going to start in the outside lane, which is going to leave Ashton Crowder to the inside. J.R. Hager going to be stuck there in third. The 26 and the 42 are going to be towards the back. So they're going to be non-factors in the race for the win. Unless we get another caution here, Chris.
Yeah, I was hearing that the 42 also had radiator damage, so he is out of contention no matter what. Even though he is on the lead lap, he will be down on some power.
And we're off and racing again. 25 of Brian Chambliss taking out the early jump. But it's not going to matter because that 72 has the fresh tyres of Ashton Crowder. And he takes the lead back with 2 to go. 1 to go when we get to the start-finish line. No caution, so this will be the end of the race here. Ashton Crowder has been the class of the field for the entire race. J.R. Hager trying to hold on to, well, trying to take over second, but it's not going to work. Ashton Crowder wins the race.
J.R. Hager looks like he barely squeezed out second place in front of Brian Chambliss there with the move on the inside.
Well, we'll have to have a look at the results when they come to us. But it looks like J.R. Hager did in fact take second from Brian Chambliss. Carl Manger in fourth, Alexander Russell in fifth.
Yeah. Looks like we got some calamity going on in the front stretch here. Know that Alex and Ashton are good buddies here. As we see some double donuts.
And if you are a tier 2 sub to the Aussie Sim Commentator Twitch channel, you can spam those burnout emotes in chat as Ashton goes a little bit crazy here with the celebrations. But guys, we are going to go for an extended commercial break now, and when we come back, we will have driver interviews. So make sure you stay tuned. Alrighty, guys, we are back. It's time for driver interviews. We're kicking things off today with our winner, the 72 car of Ashton Crowder. Ashton, it looked like it was going to be a great battle between yourself and the 96 of Boyd Hogan, and I hope I am pronouncing his name right, because if I'm not, then I've been calling it wrong for the entire race. But either way, great battle from you guys, man. And once you got out in front, you were just the class act of the field. You were pulling away at one point, lapping all the way up to fifth position.
Yeah, you know, kind of how it goes here is like you have to really save for the first probably 20 to 30 laps, and then after that you can really start going. It plays out a lot like Singapore in Formula One on their first run, where they're just backing up the whole field and running like 8, 9, 10 seconds off the pace. That's really what you have to do right now with how the tire is. So what I tried to do, if I wasn't in the lead, being able to do it, I would just, back up in whatever position I was and then go in the long run. But yeah, the tire advantage always seemed to be there. Even when the toe got knocked out of the right front, I still had about a tenth a lap. So really happy about that.
Man, it was definitely a cool, calm, and collected race when you were out towards the front there. But what was it like when you weren't starting in first, you were starting in second, and you had to be starting on the inside line just for something a little bit different?
On the last restart?
Just on any restart, I can't remember which one.
Well, if you're not controlling the race, it's just timing. So usually what I try to do, I learned this from Ray Alfala. He like lays back and then hits the gas, just barely before anybody else does, so he gets like a jump on it. And it's not illegal to do that because you don't beat the leader to the line or anything, but that's really what you kind of have to do to keep any pace, unless you just time it absolutely perfectly, which I don't think anybody can. They don't have the Valtteri Bottas reaction times 0.22 or 0.02, but yeah, just timing and trying to get it right. It's really tough here because of the radius of the corner, but just gotta try your best, I guess.
All right, man. Now, as I said, it was an absolutely huge victory. What was it like for you just trying to carve your way through the field, not only to catch Boyd, like when you were getting
Mhm.
through all the lap traffic, but just trying to hold him off and extend that gap with that long green flag run that we had?
He wasn't driving the track particularly right, so it was just about, I guess, staying patient and then getting by him somehow. But we got that with the lap car, but pulling him, that was pretty tough. Because once I finally got by him, I slid my right front about 4 laps in a row trying to make any ground on him. So pulling him was kind of out of the question. Just basically had to hope that our tires started to level off because my right front was starting to go at that point. But yeah, it's just trying to manage, I guess, and running as slow as you can without going slow. That's really the goal. Just saving basically the entire run. It's finicky if you get it right or not.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go here, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yes, my girlfriend Jackie, who may have died from alcohol poisoning tonight. We don't know. Let's see who else. Siltman Crowder Racing. They haven't kicked me off the team yet. Um, let's see. I don't know who else. Yeah, the league. You for commentating, putting on the broadcast. You already know. Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I've been watching that movie every day for the past week to keep my spirits up, and that's been helping a lot. I've been practicing my arm wiggle. I don't know if you could hear it.
Yep.
But yeah, and then apparently Belle Delphine behind me as well. So just a huge shout out to her. She's getting that bag, as she says.
All right. Well, thank you very much, man, for the most entertaining shout out that I've ever heard.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Sounds good. I'll see you.
Alright, I need a couple of seconds here to compose myself. P2 was JR Hager. JR, tell us about your fucking race.
Well, obviously I was chasing Ashton for most of the night because, Ashton's a great driver apparently. And, I was just chasing him. I led there at the beginning, thought I had something for him, and here he came past me like I was sitting still, which kind of scared me a little bit. But, other than that, it was just an eventful race. A lot of things happened on the track that I'm sure will be taken care of, but needs to be really looked at hard. We got guys wrecking people on purpose under caution, needs to be taken care of. So, other than that, it was a great race, and looking forward to next week.
Now, you were involved in a couple of incidents throughout the race, as evidenced by you being a super modified with a hood towards the end of it. But it was a great little battle on that green-white checker between yourself and Brian Chambliss. You want to talk about that little battle there a little bit?
Yeah, it came down to that restart. And I was hoping for a caution because I knew didn't have any chance of catching him. So caution came out and just followed what Ashton did because I figured Ashton had more experience than me and figured he knew what he was doing. So I followed him down pit road and just hoped and prayed for the best on the bottom. Wish we had the PJ1 down there. That would have helped a lot right there. But other than that, it was just standard racing.
Oh, also would have helped you was the fact that Chambliss didn't stop for tyres on that final caution, which actually gave him the lead of that race. So was that factoring into your thought process at all, the fact that he was on older tyres, or was it all just send it and hope for the best?
I actually thought that he stopped and got two. So, learning that information, yeah, that definitely would have helped. My thought process was to send it and hope I don't wreck him. Was my thought and process of it. I wasn't even thinking. I just wanted second place, and I thought it was for the win. And I figured out that Ashton wasn't a lap down. So it was a good race with him. I gained a lot of respect for him, like I didn't have enough already. And looking forward to next week.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go, anyone that you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, my teammates, Thomas Light, Chuck Mobley, Hammer Down, all of them guys over there. It's a great group of guys over there. 23 car Jason, he was really entertaining this race. A lot of fun talking to him, and just Adam, Sarah, and Ryan, and them doing a great job as usual, and you for broadcasting. I'd like to shout out Ashton for winning that race, and Boyd for some interesting interactions that he decided to take place in during the race, or else he'd probably be sitting in victory lane right now in second instead of me. So, I'm sure that'll get taken care of, but I think everybody needs to know that he decided to do some things under caution that shouldn't have been done.
Indeed, he did, and we're just going to leave it at that because that is one for the admins to talk over. But thank you very much for your time, man. Congratulations on P2, and we look forward to seeing what you can do again next week.
Yep, you too.
All right, coming up next, so very unlucky not to get second, pipped at the line. We are, of course, talking to the 25 of Brian Chambliss. Brian, not a bad race from you today, man. Seeing that luck was a little bit on your side, but what was the thought process of staying out on that green-white checker caution?
I don't know. I mean, obviously I should have pit there. That way, at least I would have been on, same time as Ashton there. He was probably going to win the race anyways, but, I don't know. I was thinking the other folks were going to stay out there. I don't know. It didn't work out. So, I mean, I thought those guys behind me, once they saw a couple of us stay out and then Ashton go in, that was really going to be our best chance of beating him, was to have as many people stay out. Didn't work out, so I'll take third. And I used to was kind of lucky, but I didn't feel that way. I had motor damage on lap one and was running around without all my motor the whole night and able to pull out third. So I guess that's lucky, but I didn't didn't feel lucky early on.
Well, sometimes I do believe that having a little bit of engine damage, as we see you getting fenced on the replay camera here from the 95, but having a little bit of engine damage can actually be beneficial to you around a small track like this, where if you have too much power, you can tend to spin your tires and wreck them a bit.
Yeah, some tracks, but this one I didn't really have much wheel spin going on. anyways. So I would have liked to have had all that. If I'd had all that, I might have been able to stay in second, even with the old tires there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what JR's motor was like either, because he didn't look like he had a front clip on mine. So who knows? But anyways, I mean, guess I'm glad to take third after driving around. And that hit with the 95, that was after I got the initial. I got my stuff on the very first.
Yeah, we did actually see you be involved in that first crash. So since you had your damage from all the way back then, it really makes this more of the incredible drive for you that you actually finished in the top 3 and were able to stay on the lead lap when Ashton was going through lapping just about everyone.
Yeah, there was a point early in the race where I had the lead. There was a couple cautions, and then I was just pulling away from folks, and I was like, I don't know how I'm doing this one. I got motor damage, and Ashton and those other guys that have been faster than me all night were falling back. But I mean, obviously they were dealing with lap traffic and everybody else, and it's hard to pass. The bottom is basically impossible to pass somebody that has decent speed. You can get around some other guys that may be a little slower, but on even tires and about even skill, it's almost impossible to do.
All right, man. So before we let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, I think the league for putting us on was overall pretty happy with how the race went. Bristol can be kind of messy, and then we had some new guys in here too. So you never know how that's going to go with some new guys at a track like this. And I would say it was pretty good. And then also you for putting this broadcast on, and then my family for putting up this hobby of mine.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much for coming out. Congratulations on third, and we look forward to seeing what you can do again next week.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. So that was our third place getter, the 25 of Brian Chambliss. And just having a quick look through who we got in here. I think our next conversation would be with our 18 to 5th, our 5th place car. I saw 18 because that's where he started the race. It is going to be the 42 of Alexander Russell. Alex, let's talk about your paint scheme for a second. Nice, pretty pastel pink.
Gonna be first.
What was the thought process with going with the Belle Delphine paint scheme?
Well, I mean it's Bristol, so if we're gonna have some fun, we might as well make the paint scheme have some fun as well. And I was like, well, it's gonna be an interesting race, so if the car gets wrecked, I don't kind of want to be mad about it, but I still want to keep it clean. So I saw this paint scheme and I messaged the owner of it, and he let me take it around the track for a race.
So realistically, you just wanted to bang her against the wall a little bit, didn't you?
You're not wrong.
Oh, what have we come to? All right, well, anyway, man, let's talk about race now, and not you banging it off the wall. But for a long period of time there, you were laps down, and you were actually involved in what turned into a little bit of controversy. Would you say that the blame would be a little bit more on yourself than it was the 23 because you bounced off of the wall?
I really don't know, because when I was in the car, I was like, okay, I told the 23 I want the top, because I saw Boyd was going, and so I just wanted to get by him as quickly as possible to let Boyd go by. And that was the thought process in my head, because he's the lap car, I'm the lap car, so I should get by quick, and then I tell Boyd to go low, and I'd get off the gas a bit down the straight. And so I was going in, I saw him have a little wiggle, so I just sent it in on the top. I got in the wall a little bit, and then off of 2, I think, 2 cars were right in front of me.
Well, that's pretty much how we saw it. We did, like, on the replay, it looked like you did bounce off the wall a little bit and get into the 96 of Boyd. But you know, it's just a byproduct of racing around Bristol, isn't it? You know, the short track tempers can come out and play, and that resulted in what we ended up seeing there a little bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's such a small track with lap times and overall track width, and the situation with Boyd is he was trying to catch Ashton, who was putting on a real clinic through the race. So he had to get through lap traffic faster. I I was just trying to stay out of the way of both of them because I knew it was going to be a good race either way for me because I'm sitting in 5th place and I didn't want to damage my car, which so it was a bit of everyone trying to fight for the same real estate at the same corner for the same lap.
All right, man. Now you did get your lap back right towards the end of the race there. So what was it like for you having to start towards the back on that green-white checker? Were you hoping for another caution, or were you hoping just to get this race over and done with?
On that green white checkered, I mean, yeah, another caution might have been nice. But I had a radiator problem on my car. So I was babying it through that last run. It was just keeping the temps as low as I could while racing for positions.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to here tonight?
You the broadcast team, I'd like to thank Ashton for helping me out a little bit in practice. The Starcom Racing guys. Gotta thank the hood sponsor here, so everything's sold out as far as I've seen, but you could probably go find some nice stuff on Patreon or OnlyFans. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But otherwise, thanks for the league. Thanks for you to broadcasting. It's been a great race. Let's hopefully carry the momentum next week.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, man. Congratulations on being P5 and the last car on the lead lap at the end there. And we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up next, we got to go look all the way down in 18th position for this one. And that is, of course, the 2 car of Brian Marola. Brian, not a great race for you here tonight, man. 76 laps down in 18th. What went wrong for you tonight, man?
Well, I want to say the wall was probably my worst enemy. I'm not too great at Bristol. I enjoy short tracks, but I'm still new to this sim, and I was just trying to stay out of everybody that was faster's way, and that seemed to be at least a little over a third of the pack, and it kind of got to me there around, I want to say 174-ish. It was 170, 180-ish, right around there. I ended up getting into the wall, and I clipped the 23 just enough. I didn't get him around or nothing, but just enough to give us a contact, and I think I damaged the motor. I lost RPMs, and I went from being 8th place to almost a lap and a half down, and I just didn't want to, be a pain to Ashton or anybody on the lead lap because I know how it is passing lappers on a short track.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough prospect trying to deal with that traffic. Although those guys at the front seem to just be carving their way through. Um, but what was it like for you after that, dealing with the engine damage and just trying to hold on for whatever you could get?
The car started to get tighter, so me really trying to roll through and hit that apex and hit that perfect braking point like the top split, the top pack was. It was nearly impossible, and to really stay on point. And I guess more practice is the only thing I've got to say for Bristol or a short track next time around in this league. There's a lot of competition out there.
All right, man. Well, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to before we let you go here tonight?
Just like everybody else has said, the league, of course, you for coming around and obviously commentating every single one of our races, and everybody involved with this league. And we're just trying to make the best of our situations and what we can make out of it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, man. And we look forward to seeing you again next week.
10-4, anytime, brother.
All right, guys. So that was the 2 of Brian Marola. And I'm glad that I'm not saying his name wrong. At least he hasn't corrected me. So that's always a good thing.
Brother.
Sweet. Coming up next, we have one of the league owners. In fact, we have the main league owner coming up, and that is, of course, the 00 of Gareth Anderson. Gareth, on the replay camera here, your car looks pretty sweet, but she didn't look like that for too much longer after this.
Yeah, it's not really my sort of league for competing, is it? I might as well just park it up and join you in the commentary box, to be honest.
Well, it's definitely been a hard-fought league this season, not just for you, but also for Ryan as well. You guys just don't seem to have too much luck when it comes to racing in it.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty tough, trying to set up a league and then run it as well. I didn't realize it was going to be such hard work, trying to you know, do admin stuff and all that while you're racing too. So I've just run into some bad luck, and that's racing. You can't do much about it. You just got to take the good with the bad, and hopefully, with 6 races left, there might be some good results in one of those or a few of those.
Now, you were unfortunately caught up in quite a few of those incidents, including the controversial incident. So how was the car handling after each incident? Did it just keep getting progressively worse, or was it something that you could work with a little bit?
I didn't actually realise it looked so bad until the end of the race. It was actually until that last incident with the 96 and the 23 and the 42. It was actually running fine, There's no, I didn't have any, even though it looked terrible, there was no mechanical issues. It wasn't overheating. It was actually running pretty sweet. So I guess that's part and parcel of running a short track, Sometimes a bit of damage doesn't actually affect it too much, So yeah, after that incident though, I was my race was over.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go here this afternoon, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Just a shout out to everyone who's supported the series. The league, this it's the first time we've run it. All the competitors. Just everyone, all the guys in my team from Stockholm, and everyone who's helped me and Ryan get it up and running, and there's still some things to fine tune and all that, but it's all about learning and all that, and it's been a good series so far. The points is pretty tight at the moment. It's anyone's game. Probably the top 6 or 7 are right there at the moment. So yeah, it's been good. So thanks for your broadcasting, and yeah, we'll see you next week at Michigan.
Hell yeah, man. All right, well, thank you very much for coming out this afternoon, Gareth, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, Corey.
All right, coming up next, he was in the booth with us after he absolutely binned his own car, and amazingly enough, we've actually found a replay of his car on track. We are, of course, talking to the guy who joined us in the commentary booth, the 48 of Ryan Charles. Ryan, go through everything again. Ryan?
Sorry, technical difficulties. I made an early mistake, and like I said earlier, there in the broadcast didn't give Ashton enough room. I wasn't expecting him to be that strong on the outside right off the restart, but as we saw watching it throughout the race, probably should have assumed he was going to be that strong off the restart. Got up into him a little bit. Luckily, didn't really do too much damage to his car. I only had about 1,600 RPM once it was all said and done, so I decided to park it and not be in the way, leaving me back there in 22nd. But it's been a bad little run for me of about 4 races this season. But like Gareth said, I actually didn't realize the amount of work that was going to be involved with being an administrator of a series, and it's been a learning curve. So we definitely have some rules violations tonight, which I know everybody saw. It's unfortunate that some of the guys here decided to take those kinds of matters into their own hands, and instead of letting us handle what needed to be handled. But rest assured, the parties involved are going to have some penalties handed down this week. We've been pretty lenient with leaving things at warnings or EOLs, but we're going to stand pretty hard on intentional wrecking and retaliation. So we're gonna have some private conversations with people and put out a statement sometime midweek as to what the penalties are going to be.
All right, man. Well, we'll leave it at that. Well, thank you very much for coming out. Anyone you want to give a quick shout out to before we let you go here tonight?
I just reiterate what everybody said already. You do a great job every week. The Starcom guys, guys at Hammer Down Legacy, all the teams that have brought some people over to make this league as competitive as it is. So it's a good mix of people. We do have a few that kind of outshine the field a lot of times, but you know what? That makes everybody better, and I think everybody enjoys running with high quality drivers, and even if it makes it difficult to win or even finish in the top 5, it's looking like at this point. I think it's going to be a good continuation for this season, and hopefully people enjoyed enough that we can turn this into a full field for next year and really get it going.
All right, man. Well, thank you for coming out, and we look forward to seeing what you can do again next week.
Thanks, man. Appreciate your help.
All right, guys. So this will be the end of our broadcast here. We want to thank you all for coming out and having a watch. And until next week when we go to Michigan, I've been Aussie Sim Commentator, and we will say ciao for now.